Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu and I am here for something really stupid. Explanation time. You may have seen a video go up on my channel recently called, like, voting or polling. I haven't actually decided on a video title. It's uploading right now. Oh god! Oh god, we're getting too meta! Oh, everything's destroyed! But anyway, there were some problems with the recent poll, and I'm opening the floor up to suggestions about what to do about that, and how we should fix our polling system moving forward. While also entreating you to probably, maybe if you're an American, go vote, which I will do again. Please go vote. But I don't really have anything to do today. I woke up to find that the poll is tied with a bunch of other circumstances, and I don't know what to do. So, as semi-punishment for me for fucking up the poll as badly as I did, which I did, and I take full responsibility for it, I am going to punish myself by watching my favorite thing in existence, because that makes sense. No, I mean, yes, but how do I explain my relationship with this thing? I don't know. I just don't know. So, there's this director. No, we can't start there. Hey, have you ever heard of Mars of Destruction? It's really, oh man. Okay, I don't want to build it up too much, but I also don't want to detract from it by not telling you that I love this thing genuinely and seriously, and not in any kind of a serious way. So here's the deal. There's this thing. It's 18 minutes and 56 seconds long, and it is quite possibly my absolute favorite 18 minutes and 56 seconds of animated content, period. I think that if I really wanted to, I could do a full 2-hour long H-Bomber Guy run through, breakdown, tear down, tear apart, destruction of this one episode horrible thing that everyone already realizes is horrible, and just have a good time with it. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I actually genuinely love this thing. It is the most hilariously inept piece of animated content that I have ever seen, and it baffles me and makes me overjoyed every time I watch it. And I watch it pretty frequently. I think I watched it about a month ago and about a couple months before that. And I end up recommending it to people a lot on Discord and elsewhere, usually with this GIF, which is my favorite, and you'll see why in time when we get to it. I don't want to build up too much by showing you all the good bits, but they're all good bits because the whole thing is insanity, and you just have to see it to understand. So, what we're gonna do is we're going to watch Tenku Danzato Skelter plus Heaven, which is not in the YouTube title. Yes, the thing is on YouTube. No, you don't need to go to look for it. I'll put it up in the video anyway. It'll be fine. The same creative genius who made the horrible Mars of Destruction also made this thing and a number of other things, all of which are horrible and everybody agrees that they're bad. Oh shit, what's that guy's name who Red Letter Media always jumps on? Legit typing in filmmaker, laptop, tiger, aliens. I think I can find it. Neil Breen! I did it! It took a while. Yeah, he's basically a Neil Breen. Thinks that he's real good, isn't good at all. Very bad. Much not understanding. Complete lack of comprehension of the animated medium, or storytelling, or anything. But, the general premise, I think, I should just throw you in the deep end, because that's what I prefer to do with people, but then I feel like you won't actually watch it. I love this thing. Come love how horrible it is with me, please. It would make me the happiest person in the world. You can already see how fucking giddy I am just at the idea of getting to watch this thing again and actually talk about it. Now, spoilers, I guess? I've seen this before. I know everything that's going to happen in this thing, basically scene by scene, and it's still gonna get me every time, and we're gonna pause all the way through this because it's ridiculous. Just in your brain space, consider yourself like a just on the cusp of middle-age-ish director, or aspiring director, because nothing that you've made has actually been considered good, so you're an aspiring director, and you just watched Evangelion, and you thought to yourself, oh shit, that was cool, I could do one of those, and then you go and make this. So, let us begin Tenku Danzato Skelter Heaven. The most insane bullshit that I've ever seen in my entire existence. Onward. Come with me on this journey. So it begins. With heartbeat noises. And absolutely inscrutable grainy stuff. I suppose that's Earth? Oh yeah, it's Earth. Cool, cool, cool. Sun. Cool, cool. Get used to this, because this is gonna go on for a little while. And... Nope, no, actually, it's just gonna keep going for a while. You thought it was building to something, but it wasn't. See, the sun rising sort of gives this feeling of like, oh, something's gonna come over the... Oh, wait, but the sun's rising and then it just was nothing? Oh, alright. Cool, cool, cool. I guess we're going down into Earth. Alright, alright, alright. Some weird perspective stuff. A little bit blown out lighting. I guess we're going for some kind of a vibe. Oh, Jesus. Hold up, just a sec. What was that? Just a real quick thing about this random newscaster who's speaking right now. That was weird. Spoilers, literally nothing that he said matters. Just something is coming. And now we have an OP. It's like a video game. Or like a real anime. And it's so ugly. Don't worry if you can't tell any of the girls apart. It literally doesn't matter. So there's this sort of semi-computer screen sort of feel going on here. And all the art has this, like, we put one more layer of shading and highlights on it. Oh, robots, though. It's the reason that most of this OP is made up of effects and stuff. It's because they don't have any animators. Yeah, groovy. I mean, so far, I've seen girls who clearly aren't wearing bras, and robots. And so it's great. It's perfect. It's got all the things that it needs. Thank you, Idea Factory 2004. Thank you so much.
たった今、新しい情報が入りました。謎の物体が移動を開始した模様です。繰り返しお伝えいたします。
謎の物体が
移動を開始した模様です。
How mysterious.
新しい情報が入りました。
Oh, okay, we're just gonna repeat that over and over? But then we're gonna insert that sound. Wait, what is it?
謎の物体が移動を開始した模様です。
It's so mysterious! It's like an angel! I also like playing with toy planes. What a great shot.
警戒態勢だぞ。聞いてないのか。
そんなことはありません。けど、みんなを呼びに。
Oh, dude, what's wrong with your face? Oh, hey, it's that guy from the Evangelion. What is it?
でかいな。300メートルくらいか。
目標、エネルギー反応上昇中です。
300メートルくらいか。
Just because it's like my favorite screenshot in the entire thing. Just that. Oh, It's so
今
beautiful.
日エネルギー反応上昇中です。
船貝参りました。
遅いぞ。奴は痺れを切らしたようだ。歓迎の準備はできているか？
問題ありません。
結構だ。
What? What did any of that convey and why? This whole scene kills me. First, the hard cut transition from creaky digital noises to boom, visual novel music outside a mansion. Oh, okay. Into establishing shot, squeak. Okay. Real moment of talking. I used to make bows just for fun. It became a hobby of mine. I made bows. I did some bowyery. They don't really creak like that generally. That would be a very bad sign. And just impossible. Regardless, let's continue. How do you convey girl shoots arrow at target? Well, girl shooting arrow. Just bad sound effects. It's fine. But then it all... Oh no.
待ちくたびれたわよ。
Suddenly robots. Okay. Cool. Oh. Oh. Oh no. So that went way off the rails pretty quickly. What just happened? Alright, establishing a shot of robot getting up. Cool, cool, getting it ready. Cool, 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 cool. Pretty followable up until that point. And then... Wait, who's that? Wait, what am I looking at? Wait this, wait that, wait this, wait that, wait what? Wait, huh? Well, hi, Squiddy boy. Oh yeah, shower scene. We need one of those. Since what? I think I just will leave it with no comment. Zero comment. I can't. So, what just happened here and why? Girl is in shower. Girl goes nostalgic. Flashback to the thing she's nostalgic about. It has been over a year since I first saw this, and I have absolutely no idea or explanation for what you just saw. You're welcome. You're entirely welcome. Have it. It's yours. You have this experience now. Sure. Is it fan service? Is it training? Is it... Cool.
奴は敵だ。自衛隊には我々のおとりになってもらう。
Once it has used up all its energy, it will take some time before he can regain all of his energy. I see. Yeah, so you can tell this guy's the strategist. Yep, that's your enemy. It's a giant squid.
弱点の把握、そして破壊だ。バズーカで探査弾を至近距離から目標の体内に持ち込み、制御コアを確定。一点集中で目を叩く。
It literally doesn't matter. We're just doing the graspy scene.
目標のエネルギー反応が下がり次第、お前たちには出撃してもらう。迅速な行動を心がけろ。一度で成功させる。意はないと思え。
Because you'll all be fucking dead.
市川凛、お前がファーストだ。制御コアを叩け。
Well, she is named Ichikawa.
はい。第一、自衛隊機目標と接触します。
So I just want to take a step back here and explain to you what has been attempted to be conveyed by this scene. Because it's actually kind of like, there's an attempt. There was an attempt. We're supposed to infer that there is tension between Rin, the pink-haired girl, and Big Booby Blonde Girl, who is, I guess, I don't actually know very much about any of these characters. But we're supposed to infer that, and then infer that Big Booby Blonde Girl is pissed because Rin just got first dibs on attacking the enemy, despite this being a murder mission where they're all probably going to die. And she tries to object to this assignment, but is then immediately interrupted by the fact that shit's going down. That's what's supposed to be conveyed. Now, can you think of anything wrong with the way that that has been conveyed so far?
一度で成功させるんだ。意はないと思え。市川凛、お前がファーストだ。制御コアを叩け。はい。
第一、自衛隊機目標と接触します。
Probably, because basically anything else would be really good here. For example, what if you just showed, while he says, Ichikawa Rin, you will be the person who's going first. What if we showed Blonde Girl looking pissed about that? Boom, we did it. Nope. Instead, we have her try to interrupt the conversation and then get interrupted by something else immediately so that we can't catch it. Brilliant. That's how you convey shit. Glorious.
お前がファーストだ。制御コアを叩け。
はい。第一、自衛隊機目標と接触します。
Her voice, her mouth really fucks with me. And now we meet the full glory of Squiddy Boy.
目標、エネルギー反応、臨界点を突破します。
Okay.
隊長、納得できません。どうして私がセカンドなんですか？
俺の命令が不服か。
Obviously.
はい。
リン、先に行きなさい。
いいんですか？リンを行かせても。
どういう意味だ？俺は仕事に私情を持ち込んだことはない。
じゃあ私をファーストにしてください。全てにおいて私はリンより優れています。私ならやれます。
お前は独断専行が過ぎる。いざという時、それでは困るんだ。
それだけのことで私はリンより劣ってるというんですね。
Just a side note that we have no basis of these characters at all, and no idea that any of that is true. Oh no.
パンザーファクトに想定された探査弾の2つの確実に打ち込んでください。こんな急ごしらえの武器で。01スケルターウェーブ了解。了解。美咲が言うことは当然だわ。きっと美咲の方がうまくやれる。でも私は隊長の期待に応えたい。
Of course you do.
言い訳なんて誰も聞いてくれない。
Of course you do.
負けたくない。自分にも敵にも。そして隊長に伝えなきゃ。
Oh, that you have feelings for him? I didn't see that coming. I guess he's going too. Cool, cool. Apparently only women drive the rope. It doesn't matter.
エネルギー反応が上昇している。各自行動を開始しろ。
Now we go into battle. I'm sure we're gonna get some coherent direction now. Mm-hmm.
ミサキ、さすがね。着地成功。これならいける。撃ち込みます。
探査弾を撃ち込んだらすぐに離脱しろ。02、スキャンでき次第攻撃に移れ。
了解。
I have to comment on that. Sorry. That sound effect right there, that's a person in a microphone going Well then. What a high action sequence. They fucking dead, dude. Do the mission. So she's Shinjiing right now is what's happening. She is Shinjiing. Dad is happy about this and his glasses are fogged over. Classic, classic, classic. Oh, okay. Well, shit. Oh, yeah, by the way, Rin's totally an artificial humanoid that was made for reasons. You didn't know that. Hell, I think I forgot that. Okay, can I just make an additional pair of crucial side notes? Okay, who is typing in this scene? Like, you hear that? That's very clearly somebody typing on a mechanical keyboard and a computer making a bunch of computer noises. Who's doing that? Second side note. Why does it sound like this guy, as he's talking, is constantly doing this and just getting much closer and then much further away from the microphone so that his voice kind of changes in its volume and general intensity constantly, as though, like, he's totally fucking up his mic technique completely, which, to be fair, I do all the time, but, like, I'm active in doing things in front of the microphone and stuff, so it kind of makes sense most of the time. When you're a voice actor, you're not doing that, and you should just be talking into the microphone. Why is his voice so fucked? I don't know. 厳重な管理下に置く必要がある。今はまだだが、もし将来彼女らが我々に牙を向いたとしたら。What?
隊長、私ってあとどれくらい生きられるんですか？
I forgot that this happens.
死ぬのが怖い。
いいえ、私たちは作られた存在です。
She's aware that she's an artificial being.
私は自分の命を知りたいんです。
お前たちの体は会社が責任を持って管理している。心配することはない。
I have no idea what that means.
寿命に関してはまだ研究中だ。
Okay.
お前たち第一世代が研究データそのものだからな。くだらんおしゃべりは終わりだ。お前は命令に従ってればいいんだ。いいな。
わかりました。
And I do remember the transition out of this being pretty insane. You sure are obedient, eh? Okay, so obviously the ideal flow for the situation here is we get into combat. We watch two of our sisters at arms die brutally at the hands of this squid, tentacles of this squid thing. We try to save our commanding officer for reasons, because we care about him, I guess. And in the midst of this pivotal, climactic, action-packed moment, as our girl's robot's legs have been ripped off, and she is clinging desperately to the plane of her commanding officer who she wants to save, while they hurtle toward the ground being thrown by a giant squid that floats in the sky with its squid tentacles, we choose this moment, this climactic point, as our time to, well, let's just cut to black, hard cut the audio, and give some expository dialogue about the fact that she's an artificial human. Just because that's important to know right now, because we're about to introduce reasons why that's actually important, even though we don't. Oops. So we do that, and we return, as one would expect, immediately to the scene that we left, right? Okay, we now have the grounding and setting and expectations that Rin is an artificial being, and we're gonna try to prove something with that, right? So we return to that moment, and we see how she acts. But we actually didn't finish here. So, screaming, but with no sound. Let's cut to black again for literally no reason, and go into an unintroduced, unexplained, completely inexplicable flashback. The purpose of which is to show that Rin cares about Fumagai, I guess? And is aware that she's artificial and wants to know her own life expectancy and always follows orders. At which point... Yeah? We hard cut back to her screaming? We don't even hard cut, we fade! You can't make this shit up. You can't plan for this.
Rin, いや、戦機帰還せよ。とどめをペガサス。弱点さえ分かれば、こいつで突っ込むのもわけないぞ。
船貝、血迷ったのか。
これはただの仕事だと。そう思い込むことで、なんとかやってきた。でも、あいつら笑っていたな。俺は。
Oh wait, he's the hero! Never mind! Fuck Rin! It doesn't matter! Who's the actual hero? Wait, Rin, what are you doing? Let him be the hero! Oh, that's the twist that we were building up to. I see. So because she's artificial... They didn't expect that she could love, but now she makes decisions based on love? I feel like I'm missing something here, but I know because I've watched this before that I'm really not! I didn't change that. That's just there. Oh, we're gonna Ava it and make a connection with the alien thing. But you're not even human.
めじゃないの。守るべきただ一人の人のために私は戦っているのよ。
Oh! Wait, that's our big explosion victory? Yay! Oh wow, just coated in blood.
Right, その通りです。承知いたしました。製品そのものの不良じゃない。要は使う人間の問題ってことだ。問題はいつもそう。
So we're simultaneously treating...
臨時ニュースです。先ほど東京上空に謎の物体が複数出現しました。これらの物体は1年前自衛隊によって壊滅させられました。
Oh no! And bookend. The artistic bookend with the same opening sequence in reverse. "18 minutes and 56 seconds. Quite possibly my favorite 18 minutes and 56 seconds of animated content, period. Now, I want to try to tread a really fine line here and maybe fail at it miserably. We'll see. But I want to make something clear. If you go on my anime list, and this has been the case for like a year, if you go on my anime list, there are not that many shows rated as 10, and one of them is Tenku Danzato Skelter Heaven, because I unironically have gotten more enjoyment out of this 18 minutes and 56 seconds of anime than almost anything else I can imagine. Now, not by any stretch of the imagination the same caliber of enjoyment, and I think that's something that's worth pointing out, that there are different kinds of pleasure or different kinds of enjoyment, especially in art and art criticism. There's the enjoyment of watching something like Angel's Egg, which is utterly inscrutable, utterly gorgeous, and almost like unambiguously a masterpiece. And then there's the alternative but also amazing pleasure of watching something like a long-running shonen like Yu Hakusho that does long-form storytelling with far less individual frame quality or far less like detailed thought put into the underlying ideas of the narrative. But both kinds of enjoyment exist and both are valid. In the same way, the enjoyment of poking fun at a lolcow-worthy show like Tenku Danzato Skelter Heaven or Hamatsu no Mars, one of the other masterpieces by the creator of this, has its own certain type of enjoyment. But I'd like to explain to you and try to explore the fact that my enjoyment of Tenku Danza to Skelter Heaven actually transcends that in a way that my watching and rewatching almost obsessively of this weird, objectively horrible 18 minutes and 56 seconds of animated content with a bad ED and a bad OP and terrible characters and lack of characters and utterly incoherent storytelling, obvious lack of budget, incredibly bad design, and just general decision-making throughout the entire process. The reason that I'm watching it, well, I mean, nominally the reason that I'm watching it is to quote-unquote punish myself for doing a thing with a poll, but that's just an excuse. The reason that I keep coming back to watch it is because it teaches me something every time I do. And I think that the lesson you can learn from a show this bad, and maybe that's not a phrase that should exist because there aren't shows this bad as far as I know. This is the one that is this bad. This and Hametsu no Mars, which is bad on the same level, but doesn't do the same thing to me as Tenku Danza to Skelter Heaven does. Because what this show does is make so clear to me how difficult it is to make the pieces come together when you're creating a collaborative artistic project for which there is a clear vision. Now, there's a pretty strong correlation between projects made by Idea Factory, and specifically, I should just find his name because I want to use his name. Specifically, the individual responsible for directing this. Let me find him. Yoshiteru Sato. Yeah, Yoshiteru Sato. Generation of Chaos, Kingdom of Chaos, Spectral Force, Tenku Danzai, Skelter Heaven, and Hametsu no Mars are the things that he has made. And his work is awful. All of it. There are, oh god, oh no. There are certain things in his work that are slightly more in the mediocrity realm that haven't quite hit lolcow level awfulness. But it's pretty clear that the artistic visionary who created this is... there's something wrong with him. Simply. Like, there's a problem going on. There's a disconnect between what he thinks he's creating and what is actually created. Or he's just actually a fucking, like, well, lunatic. Or he's fucking extorting companies to try and pay him for making anime and then making terrible anime that's got no budget so that he can steal the money or something. I don't know. I don't really know. But there are hints of, like, ideas in this terribly put together thing, and they're almost impossible to actually parse. But I made a joke at the very beginning of this that was, somebody saw Neon Genesis Evangelion and went, I could do one of those. I could do that. And here's the thing, it's not just like a one-to-one ripoff. There are some obvious jokey jokes that we could make about this. Obviously, we've got a relationship of sorts between a young individual who is naive and their commander, who is Fumagai, and there's some stuff going on there. There's obviously a bit of a father is in control of everything sort of situation with the artificial person situation thing here, and the cruelty that results from that from this character, whose name I don't know because he doesn't matter apparently, even though he's the core of the episode. But there are ideas here. They're just so muddled and so ill-defined that they hardly exist when put in the same frame as fucking ridiculous sitting on bouncy things that bounce suggestively for training purposes, I think? But I don't know. And we only really introduce the actual plot points here in the second half of the thing, where we actually tell us, the audience, that Rin is an artificial human, that the competition between these artificial girls is a thing that's happening, that they all kind of view this Fumagai guy as, like, daddy dearest, not him, cute young captain boy, sure. They all are interested in him to some extent, but they also all want to prove themselves. great. They're also stuck in this existential crisis where, like, they don't know how long they have to live because they're the first of their kind. These are, like, I mean, they're kind of just throw shit at the wall ideas, but there's still ideation present. And then we end up with, like, an Evangelion-inspired sequence where our main character ends up flying into the soul of the giant, seemingly non-sentient squiddy thing and having, like, a conversation that she has to very clearly tell us she is having a conversation with this thing inside her head because we don't hear the voice. It's just one-sided, which is a terrible decision. But the idea is, quite obviously, that this non-human individual made the choice to defend humanity against less human individuals. So she, as a person who is outside of human society and outside of the decision-making process, herself makes the decision to defeat this creature anyway, and presumably sacrifice herself and her own existence, which may be infinite, because she may live forever as an artificial construct, in order to save the entirety of humanity. But the fact is that the system that she's working under, the one that has allowed all of this to happen, is one that does not care about the non-human products who use it, who use the people. It really doesn't care about them, and they are disposable. But then it makes this amazing statement at the very end on two fronts. One, the twist is that Fumigai himself is actually 003 and is actually himself an artificial individual, right? So we've done a whole Westworldification thing here. I think that's weak as shit, and it doesn't matter. It legit doesn't matter. But it also sort of proves the point that these artificial individuals can genuinely feel these emotions, not just for humans, their creators, but for each other, and then make choices about saving the entirety of humanity, a humanity that is proven in this moment to have never been anything but using them. They still make that choice, and then, even with their sacrifices, the systemic problems that underlie all of these issues continue, leading to another assault by third-party alien squiddy boys that aren't actually a result of the system, but are third-party and alien, but seem to get it, kind of. So yeah, no, the ideas here aren't necessarily good, and they're certainly not well thought out, and they're absolutely not conveyed well or at all, and you probably didn't even catch most of them the first time running through this because holy shit, Squiddy Boy is fucking hilarious. And look how bad the direction is. And oh my god, why did we cut to that flashback when we cut to that flashback? And Jesus, what even is this CG stuff? It's so bad. Did they think this looked good? Or were they just trying to rip off a production studio or something to give them money? I don't know. Or these cheesy scenes that are meant to feel emotional, obviously, but don't, obviously. Or the terrible insert of back-to-back, cut-to-black flashbacks in the middle of a contiguous scene where our main character is screaming because she's kind of flying toward the ground and about to die. But then just, like, we cut back to that and she just sort of doesn't. Or the weird visual novel computer game low-budget OP, or the insane opening with just heartbeat sounds and weird ethereal noises, or the terrible direction of the opening sequence, where we have this sun coming up over the horizon, which usually leads us into some revelation, because that's a thing, but instead we just sort of zoom closer to it, and then close enough to it that it's just covered again, and that didn't matter at all, but I guess we're here on the Earth now, because that's where we are, and then we do a bunch of establishing shots with some voiceover that literally doesn't matter in any way, except that it establishes that there's a giant floating object, do the OP, and into nonsense, more exposition via newspaper, horrible opening scene and introduction to our characters, random fighter planes, a ridiculously bad-looking, awkwardly angled hallway shot. Why is it angled this way? What the fuck? Into a ridiculously, horribly bad introduction of the main girl character, after we cut to his face for some reason, which I'm not sure why we did, where we open directly on the boobage because it matters, I guess? And it's always like the editing is off to some degree, in part because they constantly cut off the sound effects of one scene as soon as they cut to another scene, even though those two scenes are happening effectively in the same hallway. Like, Fuma guy here, he's walking toward the door that she opens, right? So when we cut to the door, he's still walking. So why do his footsteps cut out when we cut instead of when he stops walking? In fact, they stop before that, and the sound bleeds over in a weird sort of L-cut kind of way. Actually, it's a J-cut, but whatever. I don't know. None of the dialogue framing makes any fucking sense. There's no even comprehension of the basics of shot reverse shot. It's utterly incompetent on almost every conceivable level. And yet, it's somehow charming in its incompetence, at least to me. Now, this is obviously probably the pivotal funny scene in the entire thing, and it's the one that you can show people, because there's a GIF of it, which I'll put right here, to show them that this is insanity, because it is, and you can just throw this GIF at them and just be like, hey, there's no explanation for this in the entire thing, because there isn't. And I don't even have a meta explanation for it. What is this showing? What is this for? Why? Like, in universe, what is this for? G-force training? G-spot training? I don't know. Yes, sure. But in the video, what is it here for? Why do we care about this being there 5 years ago? What do I gain for... What? Is it fan service? It doesn't feel like fan service. I mean, there's definitely some, like, weird sexual undertone to the whole situation, but it still doesn't feel like fan service. It's just insanity. It's just a mess. And yet it's a mess made out of potentially, like, good food ingredients. Like, the whole picture that I get of this show is that somebody went out and they bought some flour, and they bought some eggs, and they bought some milk, and they bought some yeast, and they bought some sugar, and they bought some other things. And they went to the recipe for baking a cake, and then they just sort of scribbled out all the part that actually tells you what to do with those things or how much to use of each, and then just sort of poured them all, not even into a bowl, just like poured all the different ingredients onto a counter, and then just sort of mishmashed them around for a while and was like, cake, I did it. It's a cake. I'm a genius. Fuck yeah. Like, when I look at the thing, I can see that there are bits of milk and eggs and flour and sugar and butter and stuff in this mess. And I can sort of piece them out and be like, look, that's a chunk of butter. That's like a piece of egg that's mixed up with some flour and some weirdness and stuff. And here's a little section that's just poorly mixed sugar, and it didn't get amalgamated into this horrifying mess of everything else. But gosh, I can't call it a cake. This isn't an anime. This is a monstrosity. This is horrifying. And yet it's beautiful. In a weird sort of Jackson Pollock throw shit at the wall and hope that it looks good in the end, but it doesn't, but it's unintentionally hilarious sort of way. I don't know. My whole point is kind of, I don't have one. Shit. And there I go, saying maybe one of the unintentionally funniest things I've ever said. No, I really don't have a point here. I guess if I had to come up with one, it would be that sometimes evaluating things that are terrible helps me put things into perspective. Like, it's really difficult to watch this and then go and watch, I don't know, choose a seasonal anime that you thought was pretty mediocre, and go to the first episode of that and watch it, and say, this is terrible. Because, gosh, I've seen terrible. I've seen the darkness. And so, while my anime list has this rated as a 10, because for me, personally, in terms of my enjoyment, it is absolutely a 10. There is no show that has done to me or for me what this one has. And it's not even a show. I don't know what it is. It's terrible. And I love it. I unironically and truly love it to pieces. Which is effectively all that it is, so great. But I really do. And a part of the reason that I love it is because it helps put things into perspective. Because while I do have it rated as a 10, and I'm not going to change that, it's more apt as the thing to rate as a 1, and then to reevaluate your entire rating scale for anime based around the fact that you have now seen the actual bottom. Not Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online sucks, but it's not actually a 1. Not when it comes down to just all the different factors that make a show exist. Now, there are things in Sword Art Online that give it some negatory scorification, but that's not what I'm here to argue. What I'm here to argue is that, gosh oh gosh, a lot of the really bad anime out there is pretty alright, and you don't have to love it for that, but maybe reevaluate your rating scale, because shit like this actually exists. And, I don't know how you can fit that into a worldview where either seasonal anime that are coming out right now are god terrible, or where everything that you ever see is rated a 6 or above. I don't think that the existence of shows this obviously incompetent and inept and yet so enjoyable to me on a different level can be accounted for in like a system that rates shows that way. So I throw this to you, my wonderful audience, for literally no reason. What do you think of Tenku Danzai or Danzato Skelter Heaven? Because I fucking love it, and I hope you maybe got like an ounce of that enjoyment out of it, because this is my favorite thing, and I can never show it to anybody, but when I do, they kind of like look at me and they're like, why did you make me watch this? That was hilarious, but what? So I hope you experienced that a little bit to some extent, and I don't know what else to do. This is kind of like the first Late Night with Teabu video that I've done in almost a year. It wasn't intended to be a Late Night with Teabu. I genuinely, I just recorded the poll video, and then people were talking about like, oh, as punishment, you should go and watch something, and I don't even remember what they were recommending that I should go and watch, but boom, I decided it would be this, and there we go. That's how this came about. Oh, all right, I'm going to wrap this. I've been Teabu. This has been Tenku Danzai or Danzato Skelter Heaven. I hope you had a thing with this? I don't know. Enjoy seems like a really strong word, even though I genuinely and unironically enjoy it to pieces. Seems like a strong word to recommend, but I hope you enjoyed the experience of this experience, I guess? Yeah. Show this to your non-anime, non-weeb friends and see what they think. Don't do that. Don't do that. You will get no respect. You will never get respect. It'll be terrible. It's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. Maybe show it to your weeb friends, though, because they might get a kick out of it, especially if they actually care about anime and production, because they'll start picking up on the things that are horrifying about this experience immediately, and it'll blow their minds. It's great. Because it's just like every time the staff reached a crossroads and was like, well, we could do this or we could do this, they went the wrong direction, and this resulted, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like an emergent thing that's bad. And it's so good. All right, I gotta wrap it. I've been Teabu. This has been Tenku Danzai Skelter Heaven. You're welcome.
My swagger, hop in that window, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious. I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, the women, the shorties know nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on. Unlike my jewelry that's always on. I know the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night cause it's meant to be ours. We keep a fadeaway shot cause we ballin' this platinum Patron every hour. Look mama, ow, you just like the flowers.